Well, while Fortnite may not stay in the peak of popularity for long, it could change the gaming industry forever. Its free-to-play model is already shaping the market. Consumer spending on accessories and game cards jumped 20% in March from the same time period last year. Nearly $400 million was a record for March sales and the highest spending in this category in about a decade. Headset sales spiked 96%. That's while both software and hardware sales took a dive. The Consumer Trend Markets research group NPD credited those changes to games like Fortnite that lure in players with a free software but cash in on getting them to pay for add-ons. Well, for more on the Fortnite craze and the booming gaming industry, I'm joined by Jeffrey Grubb. Jeffrey is the senior PC gaming editor at GamesBeat. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So why is this game such a big deal?
Well, it comes down to the fact that it is very easy for anyone to understand the basic idea of what you're supposed to be doing in Fortnite. It's something you can look at and immediately figure out, oh, I know how to survive in that game. You just have to be the last player standing. It's not like a Call of Duty where there is a complex scoring system. It's a very easy goal that just about anyone can immediately glom onto.
And help us understand the pace of popularity, how it was able to garner so much success so quickly.
Well, it's not necessarily that quick. It did come out last year. It's just that we've never seen anything this big before. But a big part of the reason it's so popular and that it was able to reach these heights is that the infrastructure is now in place for a game like this to become a cultural phenomenon. A big reason for that is the websites that enable streaming like Twitch. Twitch is a very important tool for games like these, for developers like these. You mentioned Ninja in your report. Ninja is a person that people tune in to see play, but he wasn't even really that popular just a few years ago. He's always had a following, but now that there are just tens of millions of people tuning into Twitch every single day, a game like this can immediately just skyrocket.
Now, other than Twitch, you also have some of these licensed partnerships with brands and even movies. How much value do they bring to this?
It's untold amount of value. Fortnite itself is already going to be this, like I said, a cultural phenomenon. But when you compile it with something like Thanos, the villain from the new Avengers Infinity War movie, a movie that's making more money than any movie before, at least at that rate, it gives people another reason to log in. And then that free-to-play price tag, no price, you download it anywhere. It's on your consoles, it's on your phone, it's on your computer. It doesn't matter. You hear about it, it's cool. I want to check out Thanos in this video game. It is very easy to just go and install it and see what all your friends are talking about. But even without the movie tie-ins, this game is so popular on its own that it wouldn't just be surviving, it would still be thriving without a little help from Marvel. But it's not hurting, that's for sure.
Now, we have seen games really spike in popularity and then taper off. So what's your take on the shelf life of Fortnite, and what could they do to prolong their success?
So I think the first game that comes to mind when you say something like that is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go definitely still has its audience, it still has its core players, but when a game skyrockets like this, it's easy to take that tapering off as, oh, now the game it's not really popular anymore, no one really cares about it, it'll still have its core audience. That could happen with Fortnite, but I expect it to actually stay at a very fevered pitch of popularity for a longer, more sustained period of time than something like Pokemon Go. That is good. It's definitely going to be one of the top games throughout this holiday season. But then when you get into next year, I think it's going to maintain that because Epic is so good at publishing these events with someone like Thanos and in the Avengers Infinity War tie-in. It keeps people wanting to come back and seeing it over and over. Right. And Epic is they're the king of that.
And something else, obviously, that's going to boost its popularity, its expansion into China. What will that do for the game and for Tencent?
Well, China's just a massive gaming market right now. It has surpassed the United States in terms of the amount of money spent, and it's untapped in terms of its eventual potential. So when Fortnite is going to roll out there, especially on Android, but on PC, with the help of a backer like Tencent, it could easily start to make in the range of $3 billion a year. That's not out of the realm of possibility. It's that there's that much money waiting to be spent on in China, and it doesn't have that barrier to entry that a lot of other games have, where they don't have a partner like Tencent. When you don't have to worry about going through some of the regulation hurdles, you have just this massive potential that you can capitalize on almost immediately.
And when it comes to these games now, is longevity even the goal anymore? Or is it about going in, making a huge profit before the next game that's right behind you gets other people's attention?
It's actually the exact opposite now. That was the old model. There was a time when a game would come out and you would see commercials and it would always be pre-order this game. Please pre-order this game. You're going to get a bunch of extra stuff if you pre-order. And that was because day one sales were so important. They were the way that most games made the bulk of their money in the first month. That has changed drastically. And the free-to-play business model is part of that. It's part of a way of doing business in games called live services. This is where you make the game as accessible as possible to the point of being free, and then you sell add-ons over time that give people a reason to spend what will amount to much more than $60 for just a one-time fee to play the game forever. It's enabling them to make a lot more money otherwise.
Well, it certainly seems to be working. Thank you so much, Jeffrey Grubb, Senior PC Gaming Editor at